Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, where you can find some of the most in-depth video walkarounds on our different Ford and Lincoln vehicles, models, and even specific to the trim. So we call them our complete guides. We cover all the standard equipment as well as optional packages and even standalone options. Very long videos, but a lot of people like those. And you might be interested in that kind of content as well. If you think you might be, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down below. That way you can get subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you hit the notification bell, you'll also get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to our YouTube channel. In this video, I want to cover 7 things that a lot of salespeople don't show you or demonstrate to you on the Ford Expedition. Now this will work for our 18, 19, or 20 model year. And so I think it'll be really helpful for you. Some things that as a Expedition owner myself that I've learned about my Expedition, and I want to kind of clue in, and I know most of the salespeople here at our dealership will make sure that they demonstrate to their customers so they can enjoy their vehicle even more. So let's go ahead and dive right in and cover these 7 things that most salespeople will not show you on your Ford Expedition. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the middle seat here, the second row seat. There's a lot of flexibility and convenience with the second row seat. So if you have the configuration where you have the bent seat, you have this 40-20-40 split bent seat, you have a little bit more convenience and flexibility. Not only can seat 3 up here and 3 in the back, more people, but also it enables you to have some different conveniences for you for kids and booster seats. So let me kind of talk about a little bit about that. So these 2 outside seats, a lot of people already know that there is a lever up here so you can move both these seats forward and back for different leg room. But also this middle seat can as well. Look at that lock in place. There is a lever under here, and what's cool about this one is that you can move this seat not only where the front, these outside seats go to, but even goes further. So you can see it goes way up there. And the benefit of that, and the reason for that, is that you can put that booster seat in this middle seat. It does have the latch system on this seat as well. So you can put that front-facing child in there, and those in the front seat could still reach them, can give them, different, food or drinks, whatever, a bottle, whatever, from the front seat up there. And that was the whole reason that Ford did that, and many years ago, and they've continued through to the 2020 model year. So that's something a lot of salespeople don't demonstrate, is that figure right there. Also, getting into the back seat. So a lot of people like to go with the bucket seats because they want to put those child safety seats maybe, or those booster seats on these 2 outside seats and just allow the kids to roam through to the back because it's so difficult. Well, tip and slide is a class exclusive, I think 2018. For the Expedition. A lot of salespeople don't realize the convenience of this and how this works. All you have to do is pull this latch back here, and it's going to tip because there's a hinge up here in the front and allow you to slide it forward. Notice that it keeps the configuration here for this seat. It does not move the backrest up. It just allows you to be able to go ahead and slide it forward. That means a lot of your boosters will fit in this setting here. So if you have that front-facing booster, then you can kind of put that booster seat in there and it keeps that. You don't have to take that booster seat out, and then they don't have to go through the middle. You can still have that middle seat. So if you're trying to decide whether you want a bench seat or you want a bucket seat for the convenience of allowing kids to get in and out, it is pretty easy to do that. You'll notice, especially if you have kind of teenagers or even younger kids, it's pretty easy to do that. You just pull that lever there and then you just slide it forward. So I'm not using a lot of effort. You can slide that forward, they can get back there, and then you can put it back into position pretty easily. So that allows you to be able to use that configuration. So if you're wanting, an 8-passenger, but you're afraid kids won't be able to get in the back without that tip and slide, that's something a lot of salespeople don't demonstrate to their customers. Now, I want to show you a couple things here in the 3rd row seat as well. Those back here do not have to kind of, feel like they're, back there, and they don't have a lot of the same comfort features that you have in the 2nd row seat. So there's a couple things you have back here that a lot of people don't realize. Pretty much any of your vehicles from XLT, 202A Equipment Group, and above are going to have these options that I'm going to show you, the features I'm going to show you right now. One of them is the power recline. So both sides of the seats, we have a 60-40 split bench seat here. You have these buttons for both sides for the power recline. So as you notice, I can recline that seat way back here and be able to be a little more comfortable in here. And now I am almost 6 feet tall, and so you can see I can put my toes do go under the front seat, but I do have pretty good flexibility and having some room back here, and I can recline that seat back. It's real nice to be able to do that feature there. Also back here you will see has USB ports back here. So there's 2 USB ports, one on each side, and that just allows at least 2 out of 3 people to be able to plug in their phones if they want to charge them, to be able to use those phones for those long trips and everything. So you're going to have 6 USB ports throughout the vehicle. You're going to have 2 in the front, 2 behind the console for those in the second row seat, and 2 back here. So plenty of connectivity. Power recline is another great feature that a lot of people forget to talk about. And if maybe you don't have anybody in the seat, since these headrests do sit up a little bit, there are some switches up front for the driver if they want to lower those headrests down to be able to see through the back. So I've had that be a situation as well. So 3 different features there that make it for a little bit more convenience and a little bit more enjoyable for those sitting in the third row seat. I want to talk about the tailgate for a little bit because a lot of people don't know, a lot of salespeople don't know all the features that are included within your tailgates. Of course, all your XLTs will come with power lift gates, and then as you go to Limited, Platinum, and King Ranch, you also get foot activated, hands-free foot activated lift gate as well. But let me show you, a lot of people don't realize that this glass does pop separate. If you watch any of my videos, you know this because I demonstrate this in those videos. But if you haven't had a chance to watch those longer videos, I want to kind of point out one of these features here as well. So this lift gate does pop separate from the rest of it. The button is just to the right of your rear view camera here. So you just press it and it releases that lift gate so you can open that up. Benefit of that, especially if you have the regular length and you want to load that up with luggage, is you can load that up, shut the lift gate, and you can put those last items in here and shut the glass. Especially since those headrests are taller, things won't shift and go up in front to the third row seat, so you can load that up pretty well as long as you leave those headrests up. So that's a great benefit with the glass that pops separate. Also, the lift gate itself. Again, power lift gate for about all your vehicles you're going to have XLT and above. But if you do get the Limited, King Ranch, or Platinum, you're going to have the foot activated. So a lot of people think because that it has the hitch there that gets in the way and it won't work very well. But I have no issues with this whatsoever. I demonstrate this again in my walk around videos. What's great about it is what I tell people is right where this cover will come off. So right where that comes off on the left or the right, that's where you want to give it a kick. And a lot of people try to do this. I've had my wife do this as well and wave their foot around under there, and I can't get it doesn't work. It won't work for me. It will work for you as long as you do a straight kick forward and back. So don't wave the foot around, just give it a straight kick forward and back. Works perfectly without any issues. So you do want to make sure your foot gets under there a little bit. So I do sometimes I'll kind of lean back and bend my knee a little bit and get a nice kick, but that gives you that flexibility to be able to open that up. And I'll demonstrate again when we close the lift gate in just a little bit. Another thing a lot of people don't realize about these lift gates is you can adjust where the lift gate stops when it goes up. So especially somebody that's a little bit shorter and they can't reach this button to shut the lift gate. Of course, if you have the foot activated, you can use your foot as well as a remote to shut it. But if you want to use this button back here and it's too high, you can't reach it. You know, it is even at the highest level, it is pretty low. But if you're a little bit shorter than I am and you can't reach that, you can move this down, press and hold the button. There, it beeps, it sets that. So now if I go ahead and shut this, so let me show you, I'll go ahead and use my foot to shut it. See, sometimes you do got to get a little bit further back there. So go ahead and shut that. Now when we do that, I'll go ahead and demonstrate again with the hands-free lift gate. I'll do it on this side so you can see that. So give it a kick under there. See, now 3 times that I've been able to do it. Struggled that second time, but see, it stopped a little bit lower now because I adjusted that. So you can adjust those to stop at a certain spot. A lot of salespeople, a lot of customers don't know about that benefit either. And of course, shutting it, you can use this, you can use your remote, or let's go ahead and use our foot again. There you go, back up. Some people don't think because it doesn't do it right away that it's not working. So do your kick, it gives you time to back up before it starts to open, and that's why it does that. So some great benefits and features on the rear lift gate that I want to make sure everybody knows, because not all salespeople will demonstrate these. So the fourth thing I want to kind of demonstrate is the selectable drive modes. So if your salespeople may or may not demonstrate the drive modes and the benefit of the drive modes. Your 4-wheel drives will have a 4-wheel drive system, a 2 high and a 4 auto. If you have the heavy duty trailer tow package, you'll actually have a 2-way 4-wheel drive system with a 4 low as well. And that's great, you know, if you're in that situation where it's snowing outside, hey, I'm just going to hit the 4 auto, boom, great. You can do that if you want to. I know that's a lot of times that's what my wife does, because I didn't demonstrate this feature to my wife when she got her Expedition. But by doing that, it just adjusts the four-wheel drive system. But what the drive modes will not only adjust any kind of four-wheel drive system that you might have, but also it's going to adjust your traction control and the shifting of the transmission based on whatever drive mode you have. So I'll give you a kind of a glimpse of the screen as I go through these. So you do have a normal mode. You also have an eco mode, and what the eco mode is going to do for you is it's going to help you be more fuel efficient. So when you go to maybe that cruise mode where you're not hitting your gas, but you're just kind of trying to keep and maintain a speed, it's actually going to activate the brake a little bit, or it's going to deactivate the gas, I believe is what it does, to give you a little bit better fuel economy. So you can have that eco mode to help you with the fuel economy. You can also change that from eco to sport mode. Now when you're in sport mode, it's going to shift the vehicle differently than it would if you're in the normal mode. So it'll adjust it for those different conditions. But we also have a tow mode. So if you do have a trailer back there, put it in that tow haul mode, and that'll help as well. So when you're especially going up and down hills and there's a lot of shifting, it's going to deactivate some of that shifting into some of the higher gears, so that way you don't have that issue with the transmission going out too early, and help you with that. Also, then you also have a mud ruts situation, and you'll notice when we do that, it shuts the traction control off. So if you're in that situation where you're kind of stuck in mud and you're going through ruts, you don't need that traction control changing it. You actually want that going, so it deactivates your traction control and then puts it in 4 auto as well. And then when you shift on over and change it to the sand mode, it keeps the same settings for that mode. And then we shift it over to that grass, gravel, snow, it activates your traction control back again, but then it keeps your 4 auto in place for you there. And then I think there's one other, and then it takes you, and then we're back to the normal mode. So I like to tell people, change the drive modes to your condition, your terrain that you have, terrain management system, what that's called, for your drive modes, and it's going to adjust your traction control, your 4-wheel drive, as well as the shifting of the transmission based on the different drive modes you have. So play around with those and kind of see how those work, but it's real easy to just turn this dial and use your selectable drive modes. And again, a feature that not all salespeople will demonstrate to their customers. Now the fifth thing I want to demonstrate for you has to do with your productivity screen, or this instrument cluster here. What's great about the Expedition is I think the 202A equipment group on above for your XLT and all your Limiteds, Platinums, and King Ranches will get the 8-inch productivity screen in there, similar to what you see on the F-150 and the Super Duty. So if you have an F-150 Super Duty with the same screen, you can use some of these same benefits for you. And so I'm going to go through some of these settings for you. And what I want to talk about is how to adjust some of the settings for your remote start, your lighting, your wipers, and that kind of thing. A lot of people, again, salespeople don't go through the settings and activate everything, and the factory will activate certain things and not others. So this is where you want to go into if you want to change some of those. So if you go clear to the right over to the settings, and that's those little gears right there, that's where you're going to see that what you're seeing right here. So we'll go over to the settings, and then you'll see where you can activate and deactivate your blind spot monitoring system, your cross traffic alert, and your driver alert. You can activate and deactivate all those features right there. I would keep them activated if I were you. The pre-collision is the same way. You can activate the active braking or not. Some people don't want that, and so you can change the sensing as well, the sensitivity of the alert sensors as well. Cruise control. If you have the adaptive cruise control availability, so if you have a Limited or Platinum or King Ranch, you might have the adaptive cruise. When you go in there, that's where you can adjust your adaptive cruise control. And then I'm going to go on down lane keeping system as well. That's where you can go in and you can activate and deactivate and change the lane keeping system. To activate it, you actually click the button that's right here on the dash, right by your hazard light. That's how you can activate and deactivate it. So you notice the lane keeping is not working or showing there, and it'll show that with the lines around the vehicle there on right above your miles per, the miles that you have, your odometer. It'll show that right in there. So that's where you'd see that, whether or not it's activated. So you just press that. But if you want to know whether or not you're using the alert system or the aid system, which alert system will just vibrate the steering wheel when you leave your lane, you'll still leave the lane, but the aid system will help keep you in your lane if it can see those lines. So that's how you would change what you want there. But I want to keep going because I want to go to the advanced settings. So if I click on advanced settings, you can see, and click on vehicle, you can now see we're going to talk about some of these other features here that you can activate and deactivate, like easy entry and exit. That's where the seat will come back and the steering wheel up when you shut the vehicle off. So if you don't like that, you can deactivate that. But let's go into lighting, because in here is where you can activate and deactivate your auto high beams. So a lot of people know where that's, my wife has had that situation where she's like, I don't like the auto high beams coming on, especially we live on a road that has curves. So sometimes vehicles come around the curves and it's alarming to her. So she wants to deactivate that. That's where you would do that, is under that lighting section. Go on down to your locks. A lot of people don't realize as well, when you remote unlock your vehicle, you can set it to unlock just the driver's door or all the doors if you want to. And from the factory, I believe it does all doors, but you can change that to just the driver's door or all the doors. It doesn't mean that other doors won't open. You would just have to hit the remote a second time to unlock the rest of the doors. So this is where you would activate and deactivate that. So especially if you're in a situation where you park in parking garages a lot and you don't want the other doors opening and people being able to get in on the other side from you, this is where you would adjust that, is under that lock screen. And go down to the mirrors, and this is where you would activate or deactivate the auto fold feature. So my next step is going to talk about the auto fold mirrors and something that you might notice on your vehicle, but this is where you would activate and deactivate that. And then go on down. I want to also talk about the power boards can be deactivated and activated for them to deploy out. So if you have power boards, you want those to stay out or you don't want them to stay in, this is where you can adjust that, is under the power board setting there. So going into remote start, this is where you can change when you remote start the vehicle, whether you use the FordPass app or you use the remote, if you're in a close proximity to remote start the vehicle, it'll remote start based on the different controls that are in here. So if you go into climate control, you can see it has auto and it has last setting. Last setting, just what that's going to do is it's going to control it for whatever you had it on when you left the vehicle. So maybe it's summertime, you have the air conditioning on set to 72 or something. When you have it on last setting, it's going to go ahead and start the vehicle on, and it's going to put whatever your climate control is to whatever was in the vehicle last time. The auto setting is, if it's cold enough outside, it'll go ahead and turn the defrost on, your heated seats and heated steering wheel on if you have those set up, but it'll set the climate control to the defrost for you. So if you go over to the seats and steering wheel, that's where it'll turn those. If you have it on auto, it'll turn the heated seats on and it'll turn on the heated steering wheel for the driver, not the front passenger. Of course, you can turn that off for summertime when you get into that type of situation. So when you want to start it, it'll do that as well. So that's how that kind of works there, and then you can change the duration and everything. And then your windows. So if you go back and go down to windows, this is where you can kind of set it up to remote start for your windows, so remote open and close if you want to. Some vehicles have that, some don't. And then your wiper controls, rain sensing wipers, that's where you would activate and deactivate the rain sensing wipers for the vehicle, right there with that as well. So you can adjust that pretty easily for that. And then we're back to the front. So a lot of people do not go through the different settings for you like that, like I did here, and kind of show you how to activate, deactivate, especially like rain sensing wipers, auto high beams, lane keeping system, all those features. You want to make sure you know how to do that. And you go into your settings screen under the advanced settings and vehicle, and that's where you're going to find those settings. Now, number 6 has to do with your power fold mirrors. So, pretty much your XLT 202A equipment group and all your Limiteds, Platinum, and King Ranches will have the power fold mirrors and the auto fold feature. So, especially we talked about that earlier with the mirrors. If you have that activated, this is where you're going to see that. Now, there's benefits to that. Like, I know that this vehicle is locked because those mirrors are folded in, and so a lot of people like that feature. When you put your hands in door handle, it power folds them out. Now, if you ever have a situation where they don't fold in even when you lock the vehicle, I've had this happen on some Lincoln vehicles as well as some Fords. Sometimes what happens is people might get that offline. So if I push that out a little bit, the mirrors are getting better for 2020 model year. I know for the 19 that I have, this doesn't always work. So if they ever get out of whack and you go to lock it and that one's folding in but this one's not, they're getting better at, see, now it's catching it and it's wanting to pull it in. So for the 2020 model year, you shouldn't have this issue, but if you have an 18 or 19 and maybe that mirror doesn't fold in, make sure it is in the right position. It is in that position and it's good to go there. Or what I like to do is just go ahead and fold them in all the way, and then you should be good to go. So if ever you have that situation where those mirrors aren't folding in for you, they're staying out, go ahead and move it into the interior position, and you go ahead and lock the vehicle. Once you lock it, it'll catch it. There there you go, just like that, and now you're set to go, and you shouldn't have any issues with your powerful mirrors. So just a little thing that if you notice that in your vehicle, go ahead and try that, and it should work for you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the auto start-stop technology on your Ford Expeditions. Of course, we're seeing that auto start-stop is pretty much standard on about every vehicle that has an EcoBoost engine, as well as some of even your natural aspirated engines. And it's a pretty cool feature for you. What it's going to do is if you pull up to that stoplight stop sign and you press the brake, it's going to shut the vehicle off. And you're going to, so if you have this happen, especially the first time, and you might be watching this video because of that and say, something really weird happened to my Expedition, it just stopped running. And that is the auto start stop. And so when you let go of the brake, before you can even transition over to the gas, it's going to start the vehicle back up for you. So that is a feature that I've gotten used to over time, driving these different Ford vehicles the last couple of years. I don't mind it. There is one drawback to that. Sometimes if it's maybe hot outside and you have the air conditioning running, or it's cold outside and you have the heater going, when you go up and when it stops the vehicle, it also shuts your climate control off too. Some people don't like that it does that. All you have to do is press a little A with the circle around it right there above the screen. Real easy to get to. You just press it, it deactivates that. It'll keep the vehicle running. Another thing that I'll do sometimes, if I want it most of the time, but maybe at that point in time, the climate's going, and I can just, if I just let go just a little bit, ease up on the brake, it'll actually turn it back on without me having to deactivate that. So that's another little tip for you if you want that to do that. There is no way to deactivate it permanently without adjusting some things. There are some things that people have had on there. You can check some of the forums for that if you want to do that. I haven't deactivated mine. Again, it's not a feature that I find that big of a deal. I know that it turns off. I know it's going to do that, so I keep that in mind. Now, keep in mind also, when it is in park, it'll always be running. It will not shut that vehicle off, only when you're in drive with the brake pressed. Also, if you have the tow, if you have something hooked up, you have a trailer and you have any wiring hooked up to the trailer tow, it will deactivate it for that as well. So, you know, some people have actually done that. They've actually put some towing in there, a tow wiring adapter, you know, a 5-pin to 4-pin, or a 7-pin to 4-pin adapter in there, and that will deactivate it as well. But it also will put you in trailer tow mode as well. So keep that in mind if you don't want to do that. So a couple little things that hopefully help you out and make your Expedition a little more enjoyable, especially with this auto start stop feature. So there's your 7 tips and 7 things that maybe your salespeople don't tell you about your Expedition. Now, a lot of these will work for any of your newer Expeditions, 2018, 19, and 20. So hopefully this helps you out, especially even if you have an 18 or 19. A lot of these same tips will work for you as well. So hopefully you really get a lot out of this video. And don't forget to, we live here in Kansas. If you live outside of that and said, man, I really would like to work with that dealership, they seem to know their product. We do free shipping on a lot of our vehicles to within the 48 states. So, you know, if you live around, even if you don't live close to us, you can still get a vehicle from us, get the same great internet price, get free shipping, and have it delivered right to your door. And that way you can get a vehicle from a dealership that knows their product, can make sure they teach you everything about the product, and we can do a lot of things via email, text, and even video chats. So definitely take advantage of that if you're wanting to get a vehicle and want to get it from a dealership that knows what they're doing. You can get free shipping, have it delivered to your door. Check us out. You can call or send us a text message at the numbers down listed in the description as well as on the screen. And you can go to our website, McArthur.com, at any time. Check out our inventory. We always have a lot of Expeditions in stock. We do pretty well with those. So we'll have Expedition regular length as well as maxed. Mostly 4x4s around here in Kansas, but we will carry some 2-wheel drives from time to time as well. So definitely check that out. Don't forget, if you haven't had a chance yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button down there. That way you can get some great Ford and Lincoln content. We do these full walkarounds on each of the different trims. In fact, have an XLT for 2020 model year video already online, working on editing a King Ranch one as we speak, and then that one should be online, and then we'll be getting the Limited and Platinum as well. So be looking for those videos. So I think you'll really like some of that content. If you did like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Let other people know it's a great video they need to watch. I'd really appreciate it. And also leave your comments down below. Did you learn something from this video? What's something maybe you didn't know that maybe this video kind of clued you into? Let me know that down below. And if you have any questions as well, I read all those comments and respond to them myself. So I love getting that feedback and interacting with our community. So again, thanks for watching this video. Hope you really enjoyed it. Till the next one, we'll see you later.